I've seen what this guy has done. I've listened to this guy talk. I think the dude's got a death wish. That's just the way how I feel. It's funny, because watching this stuff today, Chris, watching these, these guys, they're doing stuff that they do on the indie scenes, GC dub, whatever it is. Bro, it's all sadomasochism.
Delayed gratification it really builds our critical thinking. It really builds our decision making. We'll continue to have a mindset of this, man. And so that's basically where we're at now. And it's a perfect segue to Darby Allin, ladies and gentlemen, who wants to climb Mount Everest. Speaking of a dopamine kick.
Is that in Graceland?
What's that again?
It says Mount Elvis in Graceland?
Yes, indeed. It's in Graceland, ladies and gentlemen. He wants to plant the AEW flag on top of Mount Everest. He even said that Sting tried to talk him out of it. He said, to me, climbing Mount Everest, there's so many things that go into it. It's a journey because when you're climbing a mountain like that, you don't have the energy to talk like we have right now, like we're talking back and forth. You can't waste that energy. So you're just alone with your thoughts on this mountain for essentially 2 months. So Darby Allin is he's the daredevil. He's the one. Speaking of pops, speaking of spot pops, doing the coffin drop on the glass just to miss it, and basically that unfortunately had more buzz than Sting retiring, and so that's that pop, man. And so he wants that rush. He wants to climb Mount Everest. Let's pray for his safety because. There's been some unfortunate fatalities when it comes to people attempting to do that. So let's hope we see him on the other side safe and healthy.
You think you know all the wrestling stories? There's more you haven't heard yet. Join us on Backstage Pass.
Your thoughts on that rush of Darby Allin, Vince, based on what we were just talking about?
I think it's beyond that, bro. I've been saying for years, I think the dude's got a death wish. I just do. That's my opinion. I've seen what this guy has done. I've listened to this guy talk. I think the dude's got a death wish. That's just the way how I feel. It's funny, because watching this stuff today, Chris, watching these, these guys, they're doing stuff that they do on the indie scenes, GC dub, whatever it is. Bro, it's all sadomasochism. That's what it is. They have a fetish for bro, when you're sitting there cutting yourself open, cutting your opponent open, trying to figure out every which way to bleed, you have an issue there. That's not normal behavior, bro. There is definitely an issue there. And I've said this all along with Darby Allin. From what the guy's jumping off of bridges, the guy's getting hit by cars, the guy's jumping on glass tables. Okay, bro, till what? Eventually you die? Then what? Darby, you can't dial it back. Yeah, Chris, you can't dial it back when you're dead, bro. It's too late. You know what I'm saying?
Very true. Yeah. It's interesting, man, because I'm going to Vince. I'm going to talk about this soon on Pancakes and Power Slams. As you know, Vince, I integrate psychology and pro wrestling on my channel, and I was going to talk about the inclination of people just having violent behavior and going back to what was called the Bobo doll experiment. Basically, it shows how children observing violent behaviors from adults give them more of an inclination to become aggressive and violent. And so, and that carries over to adulthood too, just the observation of it. And it's because we have so much of a proclivity to observe that behavior and have that behavior just kind of instinctively, it feeds that type of emotion that we have in the pro wrestling industry when people exhibit that type of violent behavior. And that's the reason why, like the Darby Allins of this world being daredevils, that's the reason why that Roman Colosseum mindset, hundreds of years later, is still implemented in 2024 when it comes to that type of dynamic. So
what did you call that? Yeah, what was that called?
Bobo doll experiment.
Does that also work within, I don't know, like fictional characters or things we were raised on?
Yep.
So it's not just human form, like seeing dad, I don't know, punching drunk at the bar. All right, because like I can remember vividly, biggest inspiration of my life film-wise is Braveheart, right? So it's after the Battle of Stirling, and he looks around, he's like, oh, hell, we won. Whoa, that's crazy. Willie Moss grabs his sword, and he just, ooh, man, I'm getting goosebumps thinking about it. He's looking over as like his men, and they're all getting their stuff together, and it's just like James Horner's score hits the right note, and it's just blah, that scream. I can remember it. Like that made me feel something, and so I get to the sadomasochism part, especially as being a wrestler. Some of the times where I've been busted open, whether hard way or whether intentional. Yeah. Like if I watch the ultimate match of death I had with Cardona, I recreated it because I grew up watching that, and I was like, this is me actually getting the chance to do the actual thing, holding a glass tube, doing the Braveheart, and like, dude, it felt good, and I get it. Yeah. But again, this delayed gratification. I don't do that every week. I'm not doing that, Monday, Tuesday, so I understand it is an addictive feeling. Vince is absolutely right about that. To Darby, I am all for human achievement and crazy like things that you can do something that very, 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 very few people have ever done. I'm like, go for it, man. I hope he doesn't have a death wish, but I hear death is the ultimate high, bro. But if you can say you climbed Mount Everest, you are in the top 0.0001%. So that's something he's serious about pursuing, and he does it with the right Sherpa, I hope, but the right ways, goes to the proper channels. Dude, go for it. That's awesome. And come back safe, all right?
I hope so, man. I mean, it's like 26,000 feet in the air or something like that, and unfortunately, people they reach lower oxygen levels as they go up, and they have difficulty breathing. That's the reason why a lot of people don't last climbing, and they fall to their death. So they think like 300 and some people, 340 or something like people has died from trying to climb Mount Everest. So
I was on a hike in Denver, and I'm like, oh my God, why is this so exhausting?
Yeah, you just like that. That air pressure, man. So let's hope for the best when it comes to Darby Allin and his quest to Mount Everest. All right,
the AEW flag up there though, because that's cool. Rep the brand. But dude, you climb Mount Everest, so Darby, I suggest you just bring a flag.
Exactly.
Put it on the other side with just your face on it. Whack. That's cool.
Yeah. Yep. Exactly. At least have a dual flag with AEW on one side, or one flag, and have another flag with just your logo or your name or something like that. Darby was here.
If I was the one climbing Everest, Chris, and I had a bag in my backpack, what would be on my flag, Chris?
Who other than Tootsmont?
The Whoop Whoops.
Yes,
I would give the Whoop Whoops more promotion than they ever got in their entire lives.
Very nice, man. Very nice.